So why would someone hire an FDN practitioner? Now that we have kind of a little bit of a sense of how FDN differs from kind of conventional and maybe alternative medicine as well, why would someone hire an FDN practitioner? Well, there are a few different reasons, and I'd say the first reason is one of the reasons I'm most excited to be able to offer this at CrossFit South Bend. One reason is I've seen, the transformational power of diet and exercise in many, many, many people, and we're still huge believers in nutrition and, exercise. Of course, we like CrossFit here a lot, but there are other forms of exercise as well. But here's the deal: if you have, for example, stage 2 or stage 3 HPA axis dysfunction, i.e. what's commonly termed adrenal fatigue, where you have just been chronically stressed for years and years and years and years, whether you're a night shift nurse who's been doing it for 10 or 15 years, or a night shift police officer, or someone who's had 3 kids and an autoimmune disease and they have to work and they've just been chronically stressed out, or someone has to travel a lot for work and you just can't eat a nutrient dense diet and your body is just run down from all these years of traveling. Diet and exercise are helpful, but they aren't enough. Here's an analogy that I really like. Diet and exercise are the financial equivalent of spending within your means. Now, if you're someone who's not in a terrible amount of debt, spending within your means is great. That's a great financial habit that will, serve you well. However, if you're $100,000 in debt or $500,000 in debt, or a significant amount of money in debt, which is the equivalent of having an autoimmune disease or being chronically fatigued or having that stubborn weight that never, ever, ever comes off after trying for like 10 years, it's going to be the case that spending within your means isn't enough. If you have $100,000 debt, spending within your means isn't sufficient. You have to spend way below your means or increase your income somehow to get rid of that $100,000 debt. And it's the same thing with diet and exercise. For those who are not in this, state of ill health, where they're dealing with symptoms all the time or have chronic health conditions, diet and exercise usually are sufficient to fix it. But there are a lot of people these days who have these issues because we're all just under these, chronic stressors all the time. So, if diet and exercise aren't fixing your issues and you've been trying for a while, chances are something deeper is going on that might need to be fixed by something like FDN. Indication number 2 that you might want to hire an FDN practitioner. You're going through the cycle of trial and error with supplements. Oh, well, I'm taking my fish oil for my inflammation. I'm taking my B12 because my blood says I'm low in B12. And I'm taking my iron supplement because I test low for iron. And I'm taking my Armor or my Nature-Throid to fix my thyroid. And all these things are okay because they're all natural and they're not prescription drugs. That doesn't make them any better. Now, again, don't mistake me here. Sometimes symptom control is necessary to fix issues in the short term, but a normal, healthy, functioning human body should not need to take something long-term to prop up the thyroid, unless you've had your thyroid removed or something like that. That would be a unique situation where something like that would need to be done. But if you're a normal, functioning, healthy human being who still has your full thyroid, there's no reason why you should need something to prop that up. And people will take coffee or 5-hour energy or all this different stuff to get them through the day. It's not normal to have a 2 p.m. slump. It's common. It's something that happens a lot to a lot of people, but it's not normal. That should not happen to a normal, functioning, healthy human being. It's not normal to wake up 4 or 5 times a night when you're supposed to be sleeping. It's not normal to have excess weight around the midsection that you've spent 10 years trying to get off, and diet and exercise just don't seem to be working. So you just keep, say, oh, I'm gonna take this for that, I'm gonna take this for that, I'm gonna take this for that, and it doesn't seem to be helping. That's because you're just trying to, do symptom whack-a-mole. You're not fixing the actual issue. You don't feel well even though your blood work is normal. How many times does this happen to people? I've worked with many people. If you ever saw the video that we did with Angie, who went to her doctor and she had hypothyroidism, and the doctor said, eat less, work out more. Eat less, work out more. She actually gained weight doing that. And that's because telling someone who has hypothyroidism to eat less, work out more is about one of the worst things you can do. It's actually the exact opposite. So, you can go to your doctor and they say, oh, well, your blood work is normal. Well, you have to remember what normal means for a doctor. For a doctor, normal means not acutely wrong. So it's kind of like the equivalent, think of college grades. For a doctor, saying you're normal is something like saying you passed the class, but you don't know whether you have a C- or an A+. Normal doesn't mean you're optimally healthy, it just means you're not severely sick to the point where we would need to intervene with drugs and surgery. So there are lots of people who say, oh, your blood work's normal, it's all in your head, you're a hypochondriac, take an antidepressant. I've heard this over and over and over again from so many people, and I've experienced it myself. Just because your blood work is normal does not mean you are healthy, doesn't mean you're optimally healthy. What Western medicine looks for is something to be acutely wrong. What FDN is looking for is healing opportunities to get you to the point where you can achieve optimal health, where you feel your best, not just not sick, but your best. What's another indication you might want to hire an FDN practitioner? You understand there is no such thing as a normal symptom. There is no such thing as a normal symptom. If you are having a symptom, whether it's high blood pressure, or acid reflux, or high cholesterol, or low thyroid function, all of these things are just symptoms. And if you just take something to fix the symptom, you are missing the point. For any symptom, you should always ask the question, why? Why do I have low thyroid function? Why is my cholesterol high? Why is my blood pressure high? Why do I have acid reflux? These things do not happen in normal, healthy, functioning human beings. And if they are happening, they're an indication that something at kind of these deeper root cause levels is going wrong that needs to be fixed. So when it comes to this idea that, oh, I'm just fixing my symptoms, I'm taking this for that, that's a really bad approach. There is no such thing as a normal symptom. And if you're experiencing symptoms, whether it's skin issues or any of the other ones I mentioned, there are lots of things that could be going wrong that need to be addressed at this root cause level. Okay, lastly, why would someone hire an FDN practitioner? You want to fix the root cause of your issues. Why? Well, put simply, here's why. If you just fix the symptom, that doesn't fix the root cause. Imagine you're in a boat that's leaking and it's pretty filled up with water. Symptom control or taking prescription drugs or surgery is the equivalent of taking a bucket and continually bailing out water. Yeah, well, the boat's not going to sink if you bail fast enough, but you're going to keep having to bail water out. A much more sensible approach would be plug the hole in the bottom of the boat. Now, that's a very good analogy too, because you're still going to have to bail water out because there's going to be water in the boat. So yeah, you might have to do temporary symptom control, just like you might have to still bail water out even after you've plugged the hole. But the sensible thing to do long term is to plug the hole, because then no more water is going to be coming in. Well, it's the same thing with health. If you just do symptom control long term, you're going to need to take statins long term. You're going to need to take proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux long term. You're going to need to take synthetic thyroid hormone long term. And there's no reason, unless there's some sort of underlying vital void, for example, severe genetic disorder that leads to super high cholesterol, or the very, very, very rare case that we'll talk about later. This is extremely rare and not at all common, where someone is overproducing stomach acid. More common than not is someone's underproducing stomach acid, and we'll do a whole video on why that's the case. But unless it's these extreme circumstances, there's no reason you should be taking a prescription drug for the rest of your life. Furthermore, if you don't fix that underlying issue, not only are you going to have to take prescription drugs for the rest of your life, or even natural supplements, you risk having other things go wrong because you didn't fix that root issue. So for example, if you have an autoimmune disease and like autoimmune hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and you don't fix that, you are at risk of developing further autoimmune diseases. So you need to get to the root cause of the issue in order to fix your health long term. Okay, how would FDN help me? So at this point, you might be like, wow, that's a lot of information. I've got a sense of what distinguishes FDN from Western medicine. I have a sense of why someone might hire an FDN practitioner. How would FDN help me? In our next video, we're going to detail exactly how FDN would help you. To give you a brief overview, we would design a Dress for Health Success protocol, which is diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. And really, I would say where FDN excels is those last two. Lots of people are doing, decent diet, lots of people are exercising, lots of people are getting rest. but they're not really getting to the root cause of both mental emotional stress and hidden stressors, and they aren't doing enough to kind of get them out of that $100,000 of metaphorical health debt, whether they're in adrenal fatigue or they have very serious digestive issues, or their liver has impaired detoxification. So in our next video, we're going to talk about how can FDN help you get back to optimal health. All right, guys. Robbie here from CrossFit South Bend. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.